You're in a highly competitive sector. You're up against industry leaders, powerful multinational concessionaires, household names in our industry. Does that daunt you?
No, it excites me. You know, we just turned 17 years old in January, and we've been kind of doing this for a long time. We love it. We're exclusively in airports. You know, we realized early on that we could not play their game. They're excellent at what they do. They're excellent competitors. That we're a boutique company, and we like to do things differently.
Yeah.
So by doing that and creating unique experiences, we could set ourselves apart than our competitors. By the way we treat our customers, we could set ourselves apart. So we always believed that if you create an amazing experience and unique, it'll create desire. Desire equals opportunity, and opportunity and demand equals the growth of our company.
One of the things that impressed me was that you've taken some of the barriers and constraints of airports and you've actually turned them into opportunities. And the gate areas is the obvious one. It's a massive frustration for every duty-free retailer in this room. The number of people who head straight to the gate and never come back, lost forever. You've challenged that. You've come up with a solution. You've done it in a lot of airports that aren't exactly consumer-friendly places in the first place. Many of the US airports are tough places to be, I think, as a consumer. What would you say to the duty-free retailers in this room about the ability to take some of this thinking into their sector?
I'd say, why not? Let's go do it. You know, it was interesting, Martin. We always believed that we should go into the gate areas because it's for not called to gate airports. It's the single largest piece of real estate in airports around the world and the most desirable location for a customer to be in. And as I spend all my time in airports, I see people sitting there and they're lined up like they're going to go get a root canal. I wanted to turn those into something special. So we had a unique opportunity at Delta Airlines in JFK, their Terminal 3, which is being torn down shortly when they open up their new terminal. Their Terminal 3 and Terminal 2 were very, very poor terminals. So we went to Delta and said, listen, we want to do this here. We'd like to try a few of your gates. Give us your toughest gates. We'll do a 90-day deal, which Karen will cringe because we're not going to do any of these 90-day deals in there. We spent millions of dollars to do it. And Delta said to us, okay, we'll let you do this and try this here. But you need to achieve two things. One, you need to maintain or increase our seat count, and you need to maintain or increase our aisle space. So how we did that was having our customers' legs under tables in a natural position like everybody's sitting here today, rather than spread out in the gatehold rooms and clutter them up. So we were able to do that, and about 3 nights before we opened our first one, which is in Terminal 3, one of the Delta executives said to me, he says, Rick, what happens if they're afraid to sit in these seats? You know, they've never seen this before. And then I lose my gate because they're afraid to go in there and sit there. I said, oh, that's not going to happen. And then I went back home and said, oh, what happens if that happens? So we did it, and then the customers came in like it's been that way forever. And it was, so, you know, I said to Delta, if you don't like it, I'll pull everything out in 90 days. Really, they had a 24-hour termination if they really wanted it.
Yeah.
I said, we'll put everything at 90 days. But the customers loved it so much. And the customer service scores in the Port Authority dramatically increased. And the people started tweeting about it, and they started speaking about it on Facebook. And the press started to write about it. So those areas that were forbidden territory forever don't need to be that any longer. Let's take care of our customers. Lots of people want to go see where their gate is, and then maybe they'll come back. For the ones that don't want to come back, let's go to them.
Well, maybe just to close, Rick, your work with languages, the multilingual offer is very interesting. We sent our editor from our Moodie Report China title, very kindly courtesy of Muriel and Heathrow Airport, to do some interviews in Chinese with Chinese consumers. And besides the things that they said about the food and beverage offer and about the retail offer, and they liked Heathrow very much, one of the things that they said in the asides to a fellow Chinese person was their sense of alienation in the airports of the world. They said so often, there's no Chinese signage, there's no Chinese speaking staff, there's no warmth. Now, there are many exceptions out here. Many retailers and airports are working hard with the Chinese consumer. But I thought it was a really telling observation, and if we flip it, and you or I go into, you know, an airport in a second tier or third tier Chinese city, we're going to find it pretty difficult and alienating ourselves. So you've made that step, and you've made it in many languages. What's the response?
The response has been wonderful. It's, you know, I get back to that smile. When you see them hit the flag and it changes the language, you see a little smile come on their face. So they feel comfortable and can understand. While we use the universal language in photography for everything also, but they feel connected. It's so important. It's everything to connect with your customer. And Chinese, you know, I know when I'm in a foreign country and can't speak the language, you're feeling a little bit lost.
Yeah.
Well, there's apps for that now, but still you're feeling a little bit lost. So when we can connect them in and have them feel comfortable, they'll feel better, they'll spend more, they'll enjoy their experience. And language is universal.
Yeah.
You know, if you can understand the language and deliver a great meal, you know, as it's always said, the best way to someone's heart is through their stomach. And that's what we're all about.